everybody. So if you guys remember this video where I made a full stack web application about predicting stock prices, well now I guess this is part 3 of this video. I'm going to show how to host it on Google Cloud and run it from the cloud. So I'm going to exit out of this. I have my cloud instance loaded up here, but the first thing I need to do is create 2 repositories. So the first one will be called forecast server. I'll just call this server in the description. It's going to be private, add a readme, and create. Okay, so I got forecast server done. Now I'm going to create a new repository and call it forecast client. So that'll be forecast client, description client, private, add readme, and create repository. So I believe now I'll come here and I'll download these. So I'll come to forecast server first and then use SSH. I already have SSH keys enabled in my GitHub account, so I'm able to do that. So I will do git clone control V fserv, and I will do the same for the client. So I'll come here, SSH that, so that'll be git clone f client. Okay, so now the next step for me to do is go to, well, first find, let me think. Okay, yeah, go to finstat server, not fserv, reset that. So I'm going to create a requirements.txt file. So that's going to have WebSockets, NumPy, Pandas, Torch, and requests. So I'm going to do that's it. And as you guys see, I have my key pasted in here. So you're going to want to paste your key into this if you want to try it this way. But I believe this is all the libraries that we need. So I'm going to, let's see. So we got WebSockets, NumPy, Pandas, Torch, and requests. So I'm going to exit that and do Control X and call it requirements.txt. Okay, so we have requirements.txt now. The next thing we have to do is open FS app and just do Control C, Control V. So we have the server, and let me just make sure. Yeah, we have the right address in it. So now we need to create a Docker file, but to make this easier, I'm just going to come to my previous repository and take the Docker file from here. There's just too much to write out. We can edit it. So we come to do nano. So this time it's not called wserver, it's just called server.py. And yes, we're on port 8080. We do the requirements.txt. So this is going to be called Docker file. And I believe we are done with this part, so I will simply do git pull, git add, git commit, forecaster server, and then git push. And now I will come to Google Drive, and I will, not Google Drive, Google Cloud, and I'll tap on create service. So I've already set up my GitHub with this repository, so I could set up with cloud build, and then I'll just come here, what did I call it, forecast server, yeah, forecast server, click the I understand, then go to Docker file, save it. So I'm going to allow unauthenticated invocations. I'm going to set the minimum instance to 1. So container, it's going to be port 8080, and it is going to have 4 gigs of RAM with one CPU, and then the request timeout will be 3600, and the minimum number of instances is 1, the max is 50 with these settings, and then yeah, I just go ahead and create. So once it's done doing this, it's going to process. Let me just make sure. Yeah. So once all this is done, we can view the logs of the final steps going on in like compiling and hosting this program. Okay, let's go to the logs. And meanwhile, while that's going on, I'm going to come to stock AI client and get this Docker file. So yeah, I'm going to keep this over here for now. And yes, it's still on port 3000 for the front end. So yeah, it's just installing all the libraries and getting like the setup ready. Oh, and if you guys want me to explain what Dockerfile is, if I haven't already, it's basically just a sort of like the requirements.txt. It runs through each line and installs like whatever libraries that you need and like sets up the environment for your cloud instance to like match what your settings are. So like we're using a Python server, so we didn't really have to do that much settings in it. It's pretty simple to like launch on this. Okay, it's moving forward. Still takes a little bit of time. Don't worry, I'm still here. I'm just watching this as well. The cons of hosting on the cloud. It gets complex. So it's on step 1 right now, so it's going to be on step 2 soon. Um, to be honest, I'm not quite sure what it's doing right here, but it's just, I guess there's just like certain settings that it has to go through. seems to be stuck on this step, but it hasn't said anything's wrong. Okay, now it's deploying, so it's almost done. So once this deploys and we get the address, I can show you guys how to put it into the client. Alright, meanwhile it's doing that, let me go to F client and then I open up FS app and I just copy, well, command, no, not server, SRC. Okay, so this is F client and I'm going to come to, so reset that, and then this just needs a Docker file. So this is going to be the same thing from here. Come here, paste it. Let me just make sure everything has loaded. Okay, Control X, yes, Docker file. And before I do that, I have to get the address from here. So come on, deploy. Finally. It finished. Okay, good. So we could exit this. I'll just leave that open, but let me just refresh this. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to copy this URL from the server, and I'm going to open up app.js in the client, and oh, okay, I need one more thing for my GitHub. So it's going to be an src app.js. Yeah, this custom WebSocket. So that's going to be outside of the class. And let's see. So come down here, equals new custom WebSocket, and then let me just paste it in here. Oh no, I mean the address. And I'll just change this to WSS. Is that what I called in here? Yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna exit that now, and then I have the socket address put in. What I could do is actually do a test. So I'm gonna include terminal. So cd desktop f client, or rather, nah, forget about it. I think this will work on its own. I want to put some faith into this. So okay, so exit that, exit this, exit this, exit this. Where's the terminal? cd desktop f client ls git pull, git add, git commit, and app ready, git push. Okay, so now it is time to create a new service. So we'll go to create service, and then I'll continuously deploy, and it should load my GitHub repository for the client. So it's going to be forecast client, accept, next, Docker file, save, and then the same settings, except in containers, instead of putting container port to 8080, we set it to 3000, and we use 4 gigs with 1 CPU. I'll set the timeout to 3600 seconds, which is about an hour, and the minimum instances is 1, the maximum is 50, and then create. So now this is going to take even longer, I think, from my experience, but we'll see which is faster. So first it's got to get through these. Build logs error. Oh, maybe it's the. I think it's saying the Docker file has an error in it. Node app package.json npm install npm run build 3000. I wonder what went wrong. Maybe it's in the logs here. Hold on, hold on. Let's actually come to ChatGPT now. Google Cloud run error. Okay, it's basically telling me to like reboot it. Oh, I think I know what the issue might be. I'm gonna go back to GitHub. I'm gonna go to my repositories, like where I copied that thing from. So it'll be stock AI client. Yeah, stock AI client. Um, Docker file. Oh no, not the Docker file. src app.js. Um, no, I don't see any error with that. Let me retry it. As ChatGPT said, retry it. So failed again. Maybe. Okay, I'll try this. I'll do npm install. I'm going to try to run this locally to at least verify that the server worked. So npm start. Oh, let me also boot up the code for this. All right, let me minimize that. Go back here. Okay, so it seems to have loaded here. So it's communicating with the cloud. Let's see what it generates us. Okay, so it is working, but there's something wrong inside the settings of it. I'm gonna go to the actual repository now and see like what the issue is. So come back here, go to repositories, forecast client. Um, Shit. Let me open up the Docker file. So node 14 Alpine npm install. Oh, maybe it has to be npm install force. Yeah, let's try that. So come here and do. Actually, I don't need that. Refresh this. Oh, did it error out again? Already have an image with the digest. Oh, okay. So it's saying that there's an error with line 8. Oh my god. You know what the fucking error is? It's an it's a typo. Well, I don't want to jinx myself right now. Let me go back to this. So I'm gonna exit this. I'm gonna come here again and click this. Okay, finally. Come on, work, 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 please. Even if you take an hour long to upload like you did with the server, let's just see some results. Is this even recording? Yeah, it's recording, but my battery's getting low. Um, Let me just get rid of all these other ones. Um, exit, 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 exit. So it's just the cloud open right now. Oh shit, I didn't even have my camera running. Let me go ahead and open that up too. So QuickTime Player File New Movie Recording. View. No, not full screen. Um, Float on top. Minimize this. Okay, so let's see how far it's gotten now. It's still on step 0. Building. Whew. Got the sideburns. So this is gonna run, I think. Um, let's see if it's made any progress. It's still on step 0. Has it made any progress? Nope. Still building. I'm just gonna speed up the video where it's like building the app. This just takes so long. I don't want you guys to get bored. Finally. Well, still has 2 steps to go. It's almost finished. It's on step 2. Deploying. And it is done. So I'm going to exit this. I'm going to refresh this. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Come on, load. Wow, now Chrome froze on me. Okay, so shit, come on, work. So many technical errors can happen when dealing with like programming. Like it may not even be on your end, it may be on their end. Like right now they just like finished processing the app, but it's still taking so long. And I can't even click into this. Maybe what I'll do is I'll create a new tab, exit that, and then I'll go to cloud.google.com, make sure that I have the right, well, I'll go to console. So let me change the account. So I'll come here. And navigate down to Cloud Run. I think I may have to shut off my camera because it's becoming too slow. So let me shut this off. Okay, so forecast client. I'll actually make this bigger now. Okay, good, no errors. Let's just wait for the page to fully load. Do I have anything else open that I shouldn't? Yeah, let me quit Visual Studio. Let me quit the terminal. Um, okay, so I'm going to click on this link. Come on, please still record. Okay, good. So I'm just going to let this load right now. It's loading. Load, load, load. And it loaded. So let's test this out. I'm gonna do NVIDIA. I'm gonna set the epochs to the same. Window is gonna be 130 days. The output is gonna be for 15 days. The learning rate is gonna be 0.0004, and the look back period is gonna be 100 days, and the proportion will stay the same at zero point 0.7. So I'm gonna fetch the data. And we have it. We have the forecasted stock price for Nvidia, and of course, it doesn't look realistic, but I mean, we're trying to predict prices, so that's going to be pretty hard. Since it took this long to do this, let's just play around with this a bit. So I'll set to 0.04. I'll set this to 50 days moving average. I'll set a 150-day moving window to a 20-day output, and I'll change the epochs to be 1500 epochs. And then let's train this model again. Cloud-hosted machine learning models. I've came a long way, but this is just the beginning into like the next chapter that I'm gonna go into. Because like after I figure this shit out, I'm not looking back. I got to get better and better at this. Okay, so that didn't turn out as planned. Let me set the learning rate to this. Fetch data. Because this is just a realistic drop, and I guess it's having a hard time predicting whether the price will drop just because it's been rising in this period of its training. I mean, Nvidia is a good stock. Like Nvidia is like they're the goat. Okay, this looks a bit more realistic, but yeah. Let's do one more stock. I'm going to do BlackRock. Dun dun dun. BlackRock with the same inputs. Okay, and there we have it. This is the stock price forecaster hosted on the cloud. It's a full stack machine learning web application. And yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this series, and I hope we all learned a lot together, like how cool this can be. So I'm going to end the video here, but I thank y'all for watching.